Greetings, my name is Miriam Monroe.
And I'm Joe Posada.
And this is a presentation for UNT Dallas Search Institute on racial and income segregation. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, segregation is defined as the separation or isolation of a race, class, or ethnic group by enforced or voluntary residence in a restricted area, by barriers to social intercourse, by separate educational facilities, or by other discriminatory means. Both racial and income segregation result in forced isolation of a particular group of people. Racial segregation isolates individuals or groups of individuals solely based on their race or ethnicity. Income segregation isolates individuals based on their income status. In Dallas, these two types of segregations operate in tandem.
As you can see, Map 1.1 and Map 1.2 illustrate how in Dallas there is a distinct separation between households headed by whites and non-whites and how they are divided across the northern and southern sector. Now, Map 1.1 shows that white residents with an upper household income reside in the northern sector, and in Map 1.2 we can see minority residents with lower income living in the southern sector. It can also be determined that racial and income segregation have aspects that intersect one another. In order to sustain a reputation as a progressive city, local residents and city leaders, elected and non-elected, will need to establish strategies that reduce racial and income segregation over time. The following maps illustrate population progression between the years of 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, and 2010. The first two maps break down growth within the Hispanic and African American population. Lastly, Map 2.3 illustrates the change in the poverty rate over the course of the same 40 years.
The goal is to utilize the UNT Dallas Search Institute as a model for implementing initiatives that will help eliminate racial and income segregation. This can be achieved by the four components of the Institute, which are service, education, and research, that will lead to creating hope within the Southern Dallas community.
Through service, the Institute will bring the university in direct contact with members of the community in the hopes of fulfilling its mission to transform lives. Through education, the Institute will empower the community to improve their individual, organizational, and community well-being. Through research, the Institute will aid to derive the information to assist municipal, nonprofit, or community entities fulfill their mission to provide for the citizens of the Dallas region. And through hope, the institution will provide the necessary resources that civic and community leaders need in order to create strategies, marshal resources and capabilities, and work effectively in concert with each other. This will then give hope to the Southern Dallas community to solve and see the change they want to be. It is not about disseminating information from top down, rather it's about providing the resources to the neighborhood's communities and strategies from the bottom up by doing the following. Identifying local leaders that are committed to effecting change as it relates to eradicating segregation, work in conjunction with elected officials such as city council members in order to have citizen support on a broader scale, and create coalitions among religious groups, churches, and community leadership.
These coalitions will need to be a diverse representation of the communities they gain support from. They create new categories of stakeholders who have the will and capacity to lead. Appropriately building bench strength alleviates the pressure being put on one individual because the duties are shared among the entire group. The last step is establishing an advocacy plan. Advocacy includes, but is not limited to, taking a position on a specific policy proposal and lobbying on it, building alliances and coalitions to support causes, mobilizing supporters, promoting favorable media coverage of your issues or positions, generating media to move your messages. The advocacy plan should include the types of resources needed as well as identifying which elected officials to rely on. Establishing an advocacy plan to eradicate income and racial segregation will help with future efforts of creating a prospering city.
Additionally, the advocacy plan should include support from local residents in the form of written testimonials or written letters to state officials. The plan will also have aspects of grassroots organizing that defines roles, responsibilities, and decision-making opportunities. This concludes our presentation.